Look, don't get me wrong, I appreciate effort, right? I like a game that's well thought out, with care given to it. And you can see pretty clearly in the case of this game that's what's happened. There's a lot of attention to detail, and the game has a lot of tributes to memes and stuff related to PewDiePie's channel. The creator, Enki, did pretty much all the work on this game, and it's got a fair amount of content, with 4 game modes and a lot of background characters and good assets. It's just not all there. I really don't like being critical about things when the creator is so forward with their input. The dude has his name all over the place, self-inserts and advertisements for his channel all over the game. I can appreciate just how much work was put into this, and it's awkward that I have to criticise it. PewDie Redemption is a fighter/driver/platformer game based around PewDiePie and various memes in relation to his YouTube channel. The first arc you play is about his battle with T-Series to be the most subscribed channel. There was a big war about it all a while back. For that level, the general workings of the game are that you left click to attack, space to jump, Q to create a feint to take hits for you, and E to shoot chairs at people. These controls are displayed in the meme Tina, which I will give big points to since it is styled after, and the music is the same as, the cantina in LEGO Star Wars. LEGO Star Wars is one of my favourite games of all time, and I had a nice little nostalgia trip hearing the music again. The feint mechanic was good, and the chair was more of a pushing mechanism to move enemies rather than do any damage. You also had an ability to jump attack, but it was supposed to be activated by attack and then jump, but God knows how I actually managed to pull it off. You had a limited timer to get to the end of the first level, and you fought your way through each floor to get there. Some of the sections had one big stonking robot in them, and I figured out pretty quick that to get the door to the next level to open, that was the one that I needed to beat. So I ignored most of the little ones and went straight for those, which allowed me to skim through the T-Series level pretty quickly. It was less noticeable in the first level, but after that point it became clear to me just how vague and rocky the controls are. The next level was the Scenic arc, where you run through the level collecting rings and stuff that look like LEGO Star Wars mini-kits. It's all fine and dandy until you get to floor 2, and then there are gaps in the floor. If you fall through them, you go back to the start of floor 1. The problem is, your jump is so small, it's quite hard to make it. I kept falling so much that I just gave up on the level on the first attempt. I did manage to complete it after a second go, but to reach the other side I was nearly falling off the first ledge before I jumped. I accidentally pressed Q for the feint before moving floors, and got launched out of the map by accident. Also, the soundtrack to this level is good, but it only lasts one round. As in, once the soundtrack is finished, it doesn't loop. You're just left in silence for the rest of the level. The jump was also a letdown on the Mario style level. The first thing you get is an obstacle, but your jump isn't high enough to get over it. So, that's it. I hit every button on my keyboard to try and get over it, but nothing. The number 9 reset the level, and somehow I managed to spam it enough to get over the first block. But after that I couldn't use it and it just put me back to the start. That basically rendered that level unplayable. If, and I hope so, there are controls that I don't know about that allow me to jump over the obstacles in the Mario level, please, Enki, get in touch and let me know. I will still have to criticise you for not displaying them anywhere, but at least if they're there I can actually play the Mario level and do a proper review on it. Unfortunately, information isn't exactly rife in the game for any level other than the T-Series level. The Sad Max level, I had no idea what I was doing. I saw a fuel gauge that was steadily going down, but even when it ran out the only thing it meant was that I couldn't nitro boost. Left clicking made some square targets appear, left clicking again made a banging noise, but nothing really happened for a lot of it. I couldn't see my mouse, so it wasn't like I could aim at anything and shoot it. Sometimes the what looked like oil tankers would just vanish on pressing left click again, and sometimes they wouldn't. There was no direction for the level on what I was supposed to do, yet somehow I managed to complete it, but only after crashing my car on a fuel barrel and respawning somewhere else. I had driven through multiple fuel barrels before this point that had just exploded, but this one decided to be an immovable object. I have no idea what happened, how, or why. Also, that car is the slowest thing I've ever driven. I was very sad. All of the controls issues are just amplified by the mouse sensitivity being way too high, and unadjustable, sickly motion blur, and the game lagging heavily at some of its own graphics. Looking through the Steam reviews from other people, they all love it, and I haven't seen anyone else complain about the controls or the graphics at all. I have no idea if it's because they're all blinkered by their love for PewDiePie. I checked the requirements and my laptop does meet them, so in terms of running the game it shouldn't be an issue for my computer, so I can't even definitively say it's my fault. There are no graphics and mouse sensitivity settings, so these problems are completely unfixable, unless Enki makes them so, or tones them down a little bit. In fact, there are no settings at all. There's just no way to fix the mechanics or even alter them. I also have a feeling that maybe this whole game has just gone straight over my head. Whilst I do follow PewDiePie, I haven't been there for everything he's done, and only check in on his videos every now and again. So maybe if I were devout, I would understand what I'm supposed to do on the Sad Max level. But that's still a point in itself. It's alright making a game as a tribute to a creator, but it's also sort of short-sighted to make it so niche that casual fans wouldn't even understand it. If that's what happened here, of course. If that's not the case, then it's just a simple issue of Enki not providing any instructions for controls or aims for the level. It's a problem that can easily be fixed. Pop up a bit of text at the start of the level to tell me what I need to do and how to do it, and then your problem is solved. Speaking of pop-ups as well, every single time you start the game, it hyperlinks to a video on Enki's YouTube channel about the game, bringing up your internet browser and loading it in. Every single time. Anyone who goes on YouTube any amount should know exactly how annoying it is to have ads pop up all the time, and how much being spammed by ads discourages people from actually doing what the ad wants them to do. By all means, plug your channel and ask for support, but please don't do it forcibly every single time I open the game. It just gets irritating. The music was good when it was actually playing, and the graphics and assets were good. The lighting was vibrant and it was very aesthetically pleasing. But, as said before, this may have come at the cost of the controls and the visuals in some areas. All in all, as I've said for other things, the game isn't bad. It's had a lot of work put into it, it's visually appealing, and it is playable. However, it's shot in the foot by its own mechanics in some places, and there are a lot of minor things that could be smoothed out. Spelling errors, audio loops not being smooth, or there not being audio loops when there probably should be, graphics lag, stuff like that. And whilst they are minor issues, they're very noticeable. All things considered, I will give Pewdoo Redemption a 5.5 out of 10.